What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about Rezolve AI. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down what really moved in, go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Rezolve had a very epic day, went up 24.01%, extending it a little bit further in the after hours, up another 1.35%. 537 the low, 648 the high, and a lot of volume. So 50.8 million shares being traded, 24.7 is the average. Nothing really coming out from the company itself, so no press releases or anything like that. But in reality, you did have AI stocks running like crazy. So I feel like Rezolve initially did piggyback off of that, but as the market did see and digest the most recent analyst ratings, that is what really did propel it higher. So Rezolve got a couple new ones. So a 1250 buy by Roth MKM, Rohit, who has a 64% success rating. You also had a $7 buy, Cantor Fitzgerald. Analyst has a 78% success rating. Then a $7 Northland buy, Michael, 47% success rating, and then $10 buy, H.C. Wainwright, Scott, who has a 35% success rating. As a consensus, $9 is that price target, representing 43.4% upside. So when it comes down to Rezolve, them raising their guidance, that is what analysts really did focus on. So in case you missed it, 150 million ARR for 2025, upping it from 100 million, and then for 2026, that is that big deal. And in my opinion, I feel like that's what caused it to go down yesterday, only because it is very ambitious. But 2026, 500 million ARR. That would be huge. Going over here for a second, just to give you a perspective of that, market cap right now is 1.47 billion. So let's say in theory, 2026, they can actually do 500 million in ARR. So that would put it at one of the cheapest stocks, AI plays, in the market right now, based on the multiple. So in theory, if they can actually accomplish that goal, then Rezolve would be a diamond, of a steal of a deal right now. Because in theory, it would be probably north of at least $25 at the very bare minimum. Again, that's if it has the same multiple as it does right now. And I've already covered that in a little bit more of a earlier video where I went over kind of leading into the earnings. But they can actually hit that, and that's not counting any dilution, of course, but if they can hit that, then north of $25 is fairly realistic. So let me know your general thoughts on that. So most likely a lot of these recent ratings that did come out were more so encumbering the 2025 update and the raise of guidance, not factoring in 2026. So let me know your general thoughts on Rezolve. As I said in my video yesterday, you pretty much have two options, and it's going to come down to trust, right? You either trust Dan and the management, or you trust a short report, because a short report, I can dive deep into it a little bit on another video, but it's a lot of very, it can't be proven. At least I can't prove it. And I don't think most retail investors can't. I think it's just a lot of claims. And if I was Dan, as I've mentioned, I think that Rezolve should really sue Fuzzy Panda. But whatever, neither here nor there. At the end of the day, it comes down to trust, whether you believe Rezolve or technically the short report. In general, though, I think Rezolve is and was going to go higher today just because of the whole AI boom. So a lot of kind of chips went up, and so yeah, technically that was a pretty kick-ass day. One thing I did notice though is on Twitter, or I guess X now, Dan has been posting a little bit more. So he posted two things. I think it was just two things today. Very proud of my team. And then this one was more associated to their partnership with Tether. Keep in mind, that's one thing that they really did mention is going to be part of their bigger picture, is using Tether to pretty much hit the American target market. That's kind of their end goal, right? So in reality, things could get very interesting for Rezolve. And definitely they have a lot of eggs in Tether's basket, if that kind of even makes sense. But aside from that, when it comes down to shorts, they did increase 56,000 shares. 7.1% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 11.4 million shares overall being shorted. Cost to borrow average 41.4%. That's an annual rate, not a daily rate. Short score 71.28, and then through IBKR does indicate roughly around 2.6 million shares available to be shorted. So in reality, if shorts really did feel that Rezolve was just a scam, overdone, they could easily double down, exhaust this 2.6 million, and they could try their very best to bring it down, but they're not. So again, this is why I like to analyze this type of information. One thing to take note of though, at its peak, shorts were increasing about 2.6 million shares, and that was pretty much right here. At least they learned their lesson. They kind of saw or foresaw it going higher, so they did return that quite quick. But nonetheless, shorts were fairly active in the beginning part of the day. Looking at the options, 4.3 million in calls, 729,000 in puts. 51% of all the options being done were bullish in nature. Coming from a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $6 range. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 550. So given everything, definitely a lot more upside is anticipated, and I'm always very welcoming of them doing the weekly options. So I think I might start playing a little bit. So on a side note, if you do actually like a stock and you don't want to chase it higher, just sell puts. That's probably the best thing that you can do, is just sell puts. That way you either get the premium or you buy it at a ideal price that you want, and then you get to, I guess, keep the premium in either scenario. So definitely take the time to research that. Aside from all that though, these are all the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. So nice string of buying, couple sells right there, so nothing too crazy. Aside from that, these are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool today. So after hours, you are seeing clearly hedge funds buying in, because 1.07 million, 1.15 after hours as it was going higher. That is clearly hedge funds, because it's pretty much just hedge funds and shorts that use the dark pool. Aside from all of that fun stuff, with it closing at 628, it is right below this pivot point, going up after hours. But tomorrow, just watch for 629 to be that strong support, and then 704 followed by 750 being the next strong target / resistance points. So Rezolve definitely is a hot stock, and I feel like from their recent earnings and as well the short report, it's actually bringing more and more awareness. So now the key is Rezolve really needs to execute. They need to really hit a home run, multiple home runs in fact, and then that's how you'll get more and more institutional attention. So that's kind of a good thing. So again, ball's in their court right now. Aside from all of that though, today's price action did push it above that 10-day moving average, so signaling that there is a little bit of good momentum right now. Aside from that, not really much in new kind of news, unfortunately. A couple of PRs just coming out associated to the recent ratings, which were right over here. On a side note, I know I've mentioned this in the past, but if you do want all these reports, just sign up for Moomoo. I have a link to them in the description below and also the comments. Good thing about Moomoo is technically they remove the paywall. Normally you have to pay to see analyst reports, but here it's very easy to click it. You can see it, and yeah, it's pretty a good win-win. One thing as well I do want to share with you though is that they actually do have a good promotion right now, that if you do throw $100 at it, they give you $50 back. So that's a pretty good return on investment on a side note. So definitely sign up for Moomoo, link in the description below and also the comments. But possibly, given everything, you might see 1 or 2 new ratings coming out. So there's a lot of big analysts that love what Rezolve technically does, and they haven't given any ratings yet. So most likely we should be seeing some new ones as well, probably over the next couple of trading days. And this gives you a good perspective on exactly what recently happened. So Rohit changed theirs from 9 to 1250. This one from 5 to 7, 5 to 7, 9 to 10. So at the end of the day, pretty good stuff, but still I think there's opportunity for more new ratings, which could really propel Rezolve a little bit higher. So let me know your thoughts on Rezolve. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.